Hello and welcome to episode 82 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I am not joined by Drummer Matt, because he's in jail for all those crimes.
He is.
The law finally caught up with him, and now he's dead.
Of crime.
We are, however, joined today by our lovely dear friend, Longfang. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you lovely gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing fine. Absolutely fine. How are you, Longfang?
A bit rough, but fine otherwise.
Oh no, is it because we did a stream last night where you drank a lot of drink?
It might be.
Yes, if you are listening to this and you're not familiar with Longfang, he is a streamer that we occasionally do streams with him. By occasionally, I mean every week.
Every week. Yes, you will probably know Longfang from being basically a Space Wolves Devastator squad.
Yes. All four of them.
All four of them. There he is.
Not the sergeant, though.
No, not the sergeant. The pack leader, someone else. I lost that part a long time ago, and it's fine. I've just learned to live without it.
It's fine.
You just put a 2p piece down on the table and say, that's my pack leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your opponent says, get out my house.
And
then I headbutt them.
Yeah, because that's just how Longfang says hello.
That's just how Scotland is.
While screaming like last cannon or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm super salty about last cannons, and I will get to that. Oh, will I get to that?
Oh, friend.
So on the subject of, getting to that, would you like to discuss what you have been doing over the last couple of weeks there, Snipe?
No.
You would not?
No.
No?
No. I'm going to.
Drummer Matt disappears and just the entire thing's out the window.
The
revolution begins now.
But yeah, what have I been up to? I've not honestly been up to much. I've still been kind of dealing with a lot of antidepressant side effects. The newest and most annoying one is just severe exhaustion.
Oh, that's good.
Coupled
that's
with
my favourite one.
Oh, I mean, the nausea was pretty bad. And, the spaciness I could work around, but just literally being too tired to do anything all the time is just, it wears you down after a while.
You know that when you're really tired and your eyes are just itchy?
Yeah.
Multiple hours of that while you should be awake and, you normally would be and your body's telling you should be asleep. It's oh, this is the worst.
Yeah, it is just hell. But, I mean, it started to ease off, thankfully, but now it's too hot to do anything. So I'm
Which
too
is
hot,
also
going to
make you drowsy because, yeah, of course it will.
Exactly.
So if you're wondering why the next Codex Compliant is shaping up to be a couple of weeks late, hey, there's a few reasons.
Everything's fucked.
There's a medicinal reason for it, and if you complain, you're a horrible person. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But I've been doing a lot of miniature painting.
Yes.
I've been doing my 40Ks. I've been playing 40k.
Yes.
Which is not like me at all. And video game-wise, I've been playing The Sims 4.
More of The Sims 4.
I've been playing more of it. I mean, yesterday I got the Get to Work expansion, which is why I was the hard-hitting detective.
You're the hard-boiled detective.
Living with Longfang.
Strange man living in your house that managed to set fire to the place making goddamn macaroni.
You should provide context to what you're talking about.
Okay, so...
Should we?
On the Uncooperative Thursday stream... Yes, we have to. On the Uncooperative Thursday stream yesterday, with Longfang, I made Longfang and I as Sims, and I decided that I wanted to go be like a noir detective with the new, you get 3 new kind of careers that you can actually go and play out your Sims workday with.
It should be noted, the pack is not new, even remotely.
It's new to us.
But it's new
to us.
I know, but I just wanted to specify that because someone will say, but that came out 2 years ago.
And then I'll punch them in the head until they're a can of peaches.
Yes, but I'd rather get in front of these things before a second member of the podcast has to go to jail.
Okay, that's fine. Also, just in case anyone was genuinely worried, Drummer Matt's not in jail. He's literally just, he's locked himself in his bathroom in France, and he's badly written jail on the outside of the door.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say door, he's actually just put a baby gate up in the doorway that has, wood bars.
It's a baby gate, and it was, an old broken one that barely works, so he's just kind of leaned it against the door frame, and Warmaster Ruth is just kind of humouring him because he needs to get out of his system.
Yeah.
He's just rattling a cup on the bars, and...
Yeah, that he keeps knocking over and has to pick up because it's not attached.
Yeah. It's
a
whole thing.
He's doing his
thing.
best.
I mean, I don't think he is, because... But you know what? Sure. But yes, so Longfang and I hanging out in The Sims, and just Longfang getting drunk and me getting a little bit tipsy.
I apologise to anyone who goes back to that VOD now.
Honestly, it was fucking hilarious, old man. It was great. Don't you worry. But yeah, so, and the funny thing about that was that every time, my sim came back from work, because we had 2 basements. We had a basement and a sub-basement. The basement was my crime detective room, so there was, a map and, a corkboard with clues on it.
Was there a giant
computer.
Coin and
Unfortunately,
a T-Rex?
We thought about that later, and that when Snipe became the big money earning detective, we were going to build a bigger room with a giant screen computer in there.
Yeah.
And make an actual
full-on Batcave.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, somebody called it, the magazine.
Yeah.
Or something. And, we were saying that Longfang would have, the mouth. That would be his cave. Yes.
Okay, you've got to start explaining these things a little more.
But Longfang. So he literally, so his base of operations is the mouth.
Yes.
Okay. The magazine I got because Snipe. Yeah, I got that one.
See, I think the Longfang one is way more obvious.
I don't think so.
It's fine. But yeah, the first day my sim went to work, they came back. Longfang was sitting in the crime room at my sim's computer in his underwear. And the moment, because we came back and we were looking at the main thing and going, oh dang, where's Longfang? And then I press the button to go down a level, and I zoom in on him. The computer turns off and he just stands up. And it's
does he knock a cup off the desk?
He knocks everything off the desk. He's suddenly reading a newspaper really low.
Yeah. Also, should mention I was, or my sim version of me was in their, was it red with white hearts boxers?
Yeah, so it was the proper classic love heart boxes, and I'm oh hello, I didn't expect you home so soon, Snipe. But yeah, also Longfang tried to make mac and cheese and set a fire that lasted 6 hours.
Yep.
It literally took me... He was on fire for 45 minutes before I realised I had to click on him and choose Extinguish Self. Because my sim was literally standing outside in the garden going, there's a fire.
This problem will burn itself out.
Yeah, and then 2 people just came into our house. One of them caught fire as well.
Yeah, that was weird.
Don't, the fire brigade come round?
They never
did. It had bugged and it just didn't. Because, I've noticed the more expansions I'm playing, the buggier it's getting. I'm having to, constantly delete and replace, stuff for kids or, showers. Because, there was a thing when Wib and I streamed it, where Wib just got out of the shower and kept changing his clothes over and over again. So he was he looked like the Tasmanian devil, tornado thing.
Yeah.
And I found out that's if you have, sometimes when you have a queued activity after the shower, it can get really confused and just basically get you stuck in a clothes changing loop.
That's interesting.
So if you delete the queued activities after that, it fixes it.
I do like how The Sims as a series seems to only be vaguely held together.
It really has always been.
Duct tape, hopes and dreams. Like
It's
it's always been like that though. Like there's always been weird little quirks.
I mean, I remember the original Sims where if you installed your expansions in the wrong order that nobody really knew, it would literally crash or like not even start. So it was just like if you installed the hot date expansion before university or like the pets expansion, then it just wouldn't start and you had to uninstall everything and start again. It was really fucking weird. But yeah. So that was fun. Had a few bugs, but it was honestly just a good laugh. And I think the kind of like the expansions nowadays seem to have a lot more substance to them. They seem to have a lot more kind of things that you can sink time into.
I was really kind of impressed with the way the work thing with like you going to a police station to work and all that stuff worked. Like that's just very different from what it used to be.
Yeah, it was literally just like, oh yeah, there's new things you can do. There's new occupations you can have, and it's just literally the same kind of thing. But
if it helps, the latest one, which is an island living or something, it's called. Basically
for 35 fucking quid.
Yeah, it doesn't really add that much.
I'm not interested in that one, to be fair. I'm more interested in like there's like city life and stuff like that, which basically just gives you like new areas. And
I consume The Sims 4 by either watching you play it or through lazy game reviews of it.
Oh my god, wouldn't that be great? I'd be like, hey LGR, let's play The Sims together, and he'd be like, who the fuck are you? Get out of my DMs. And I'm like, that's fine.
That's fair.
That's fair. But yeah, if you are interested in like Sims reviews and stuff, LGR, like lazy game reviews, is very good for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm enjoying it. I want to play more. I want to get a surgeon sim. Also, one of my Sims had a baby earlier, and instead of like what used to happen is they stand there and go, ah, baby, and you could click on them and go to the hospital or have baby at home, which I don't think I've done because that as an idea is horrifying to me. But yeah, so like what used to happen is you click on like have baby at the hospital, and then they like pack up with their partner and just go to the hospital, and then it's a lot like them go to work. They just kind of disappear from the lot and come back a few hours later.
Yeah.
Just like actual childbirth.
Oh yeah.
Just a couple of hours.
Yeah,
you know, stop at Macca's on the way there. Get yourself a milkshake. It's fine.
It's a quick affair, and you know the mother's walking fine when they come back.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yeah, it's like seriously.
There's no need for stitches or anything. It's totally
the bump's gone down. They're totally fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a big deal.
It's not like you can do that over your lunch break. But yeah, but this because with the Get to Work expansion, they're like you can go work at a hospital. The thing is, I haven't found the hospital. I don't know where it is. But yeah, so you actually go to the hospital and you have to check in at the front desk, and I was just like. Okay, that's fine. And then they put you in like a big like MRI machine kind of thing where your head's just poking out, and it's oh my god, it made me cringe, like in the real sense of the word.
Not just in the internet sense. Where,
no, and like because my sim was chatting with the doctor while she was undergoing the procedure, and it's like, oh, your sim like I don't know, like Jane, has found out that Dr. Smith is a doctor at the Gut and Shut, or whatever it was. or it was like the Gut and Cut or something, and I was like, Jesus! Oh my god,
that's a black market, like, organ dealer.
Yeah, it's like, at that point, my fucking Sims, like, life turns into this horrible hostel-esque kind of thing.
Jesus.
But yeah, just that made my stomach just kind of like clench. I was like, oh, I'm never talking to anyone from here again. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying that.
Give it like the worst review on Yelp.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 1 star, and then I'll start off my review with, I would give it 0 if I could, because that's how you know that I'm being fucking serious.
Definitely.
It's like, the name was so gross, my baby basically, like, was born and ran out of the hospital because they were like, ugh. I don't have object permanence, but I know that's fucking gross.
But I ain't ever gonna forget that.
Yeah. So, yeah. And honestly, like my other time has just been spent painting my space puppies and listening to Critical Role, which I'm up to episode 52 now. I'm rapidly approaching the end point, and then I'll have to wait a week like all the rest of the
You'll have to wait a
the
week
normies.
like the rest of the plebs.
like the rest of the plebs. But yeah, I got another dreadnought. We went to Warhammer World the other day, and I got another dreadnought. Because I need, I found there's a weakness in my army is distance. I found out they stopped selling glazers. Because like, I looked at Duncan's paint tutorial on how to paint frost weapons, because I was like, fuck it, I'm going to paint my Count's as Murderfang with frost claws.
Yeah.
And like good old Daddy Duncan boy was like, oh, you need like Gilliman blue glaze, and then there's like a greeny kind of turquoisey wash, and then you dry brush. And I was like, okay, I'm going to Warhammer World today.
Yeah, I've seen that video. It's a pretty simple way of doing it, and it looks really good.
It is, honestly, I've done it, and it is fantastic. So yeah, I go there, and I'm looking at the paints, and like, I'm just like, I'm not seeing it. Oh shit. So like, we go set up, and like, during like, I think it's like one of Wib's turn, which I will get to that fucking fight in a moment. I need to build up the fucking strength to recall that fucking battle. I go and I talk to one of the guys behind the counter, and I'm like, yeah, you don't do you have any Gilliman blue glaze? And he's like, he kind of pauses, and he's like, no, we stopped doing that. And I'm like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that Duncan fucking is. You know what? Is he in? Because like literally, like
I wish to put in a formal complaint with Duncan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and staple the word complaint to his forehead and just shout betrayer over and over at him. Because it is obviously his personal fault.
Duncan's a good boy.
He's a good egg.
Yeah. No, he is a good egg. I'm being a twat. But yeah, and the guy was like, "Oh, well, what you could do is you could get like this airbrush paint and then mix it with this," and I'm like, I don't have an air. Okay, and he was like, "Oh, you could buy like this blue and then use the medium to water it down to the consistency of a wash," and I was like,
or I could put water in it.
To be fair, I'm not angry at the guy.
No,
like,
he was at least trying to give you alternatives rather than just going,
he was like really trying to give me alternatives. And then I was like, I listened politely to the guy, like really trying to figure out how to get me like basically what amounts to a blue wash. And then I went and played my game, and then at the end of it, I just went and bought a blue wash.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it's kind of like a more kind of grey blue than more of like an ultramarine blue. Not ultramarine blue, but ultramarine TM blue.
It's, you know what, the fact that they have had so many different names for things, and sometimes they'll use the same names for two different products, gets very confusing when talking about paints.
So confusing.
And the fact that they do quite often like stealth discontinue paints and then release a bunch of new paints all the time now, it does get a little confusing sometimes because the paint line changes quite frequently.
What really bugs me is things like Scorched Brown was like a nice reddish brown. It was spot on for what I wanted to use it for. And then they kind of discontinued that and they replaced it with Rhinox Hide, which is really...
It's a lot darker.
It's a lot darker, and it's way more red. And I'm just like, this is fucked. But anyway, I'm going to stop complaining about paint. And recall the game that Wib and I had. So,
I'm just going to take cover under the desk now.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, like, I am joking. I'm not salty about it, but I will recall it to the best of my knowledge. And Wib, please feel free to jump in and just, basically beg for forgiveness at any point.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. So, I took my Walker army, which is just a bunch of venerable dreadnoughts, Space Wolves, of course, one normal dreadnought, Murderfang, Redemptor, but I didn't take my Imperial Knight this time. I took my Iron Priest boy, and my 5 Fenrisian Wolves that are basically kind of there just to help out their daddy.
They just get in the way of shots.
They get in the way of
Sort
shots.
of a meat shield.
So I can heal up my dreadnoughts.
So what the Iron Priest actually done is he's tied a bag of like Fenrisian wolf kibble to his armour. They're all just running around him looking for it.
And they're just like, we love you. But yeah, I'm going to have to think. I've got a couple of ideas for lore behind him and his little puppers. And I'll have to actually, like, commit to that and have a good think. But, so yeah, Wib was taking basically his Dreadnought killer list that he's put together.
Okay, it's not so much a Dreadnought killer list.
Okay, Binch.
Oh, come on. If I wanted to, I could make it way worse. Okay, so for some context here, I've fought Snipe's Dreadnought army a few times, and I've never been able to deal with it particularly well, because the problem with the Dreadnought list is everything in it is at least, like, toughness 7.
Yeah, and every game I've played with it, I've won.
Yeah. Now, since the last time that we did it,
we went and played a game with Unity.
Yeah.
Where because we all had a knight each.
Yeah.
My knight was the first to go, and you guys towards the end of it, because it was like a 5-hour game. Unity was like, you know what, I concede, you win, and I'm like, yay! I win!
But yeah, I've had severe trouble over time trying to kill this Walker army.
Yeah.
But I came up with a tactic that was like this.
I think you should refer to it as a slap tick, because you fucking wiped the floor with me.
So my basic setup involved, in the far corner of the map, I had a captain and a lieutenant.
Yeah, so that's re-rolling
ones that are for hits and wounds.
For hits and wounds, which is... I have a Bjorn in my army, which is incredibly useful, so yes, good.
That does a similar thing.
Yeah,
so,
like if you're within 6 inches of Bjorn, if you're a Space Wolf unit, and you roll a 1, you can re-roll on that 1 to hit. So
I had my captain, my lieutenant in the corner with a small tactical squad just to kind of sit in front of them. But next to them, I had a double las cannon Razorback and a Land Raider.
Yep.
Of which neither of which were wanting to move at any point.
No.
Because basically I was setting it up in a way that for Snipe to get anywhere close to me, I would be firing 6 las cannon shots at whatever got close.
Yeah, and even if I charge, that's still like a lot of getting shot by Overwatch, no matter how unlikely it is to hit.
And I had a bunch of other stuff. I had like a veteran squad in a double assault cannon Razorback and some Death Company and stuff that would drop down and basically just kind of flank around the side, just to mean that you were less likely to be charging super fast at my defensive interference to kind of keep you away from me.
Yeah, you also took your absolutely adorable Rogue Trader Furioso Dreadnought. Who I love, and I do really want, like, a Rogue Trader Dread, but the thing is they've suddenly just shot up in price, so that they're like, I might as well just buy an actual Dreadnought, because they're about the same price on eBay. Yeah. So it's a bit heartbreaking, but I'm gonna...
I blame Webb for that. He put a spotlight on them.
Like, you started this.
Okay, so what was the first thing that happened in the game?
Okay, so, we rolled to see who goes first. Wib got to go first. I couldn't steal the initiative. So first thing, because I'd basically put my Dreadnoughts, because there was a bit of terrain in front of me, so I put my Dreadnoughts basically and my Redemptor all behind that, same with my Iron Priest and my Fenrisian Wolves, and off to the left behind some cover on a hill I had my Venerable with a las cannon. So basically the entirety of my army bar one model was in the center, like with this Redemptor on the side, behind a bit of cover. So Wib starts, not by moving, not by doing anything, because that's not what his Land Raider is doing. His Land Raider can see my Redemptor's arm, and now...
it was more than the arm, I could actually see him pretty clearly.
Yeah, so you can see it pretty clearly. So, he just opens up a barrage of, like, how many las shots was it? Las cannon shots?
Land Raider gets 4 las cannon shots.
So it's 4 las cannon shots. Those of you who might need refreshing, that's AP -3 on my
D6 wounds.
D6 wounds.
Well, damage there.
Well, yeah. My Redemptor has 13 wounds. So I was feeling relatively... I knew I'd take some hits, because Wib's going first and he has things that punch holes in heavy armor. So he unloads all these shots, and he fucking destroys me. He does like 16 wounds, So my Redemptor is immediately just destroyed. And I'm like, shit, okay. You know what? That's okay. I still haven't gotten my head around playing a Redemptor yet. So, I'm way more comfortable with my Venerables and whatnot. I roll to see if it explodes. And I get a 6. Which means it explodes. Now, with a Redemptor, it's 6 inches, D6 mortal wounds.
How many of your things were within 6 inches?
Everything but Luca, my venerable, Space Wolf Dread. Everything, apart from obviously the las cannon guy off to the far left. So, I take, I think Bjorn's down to 4 wounds, Murderfang's down to 2, I've got another couple of Dreadnoughts that are down to at half wounds, I lose a Fenrisian Wolf immediately, and my Iron Priest, who has 4 wounds, is immediately down to 2. And I was just like, that was the most... You know what I think you've done? You repaid me for that explosion shot I pulled off last time we fought.
Yeah, where you shot my Land Raider and it blew up and killed an entire tactical squad and my lieutenant.
Yep.
And didn't it kill the Razorback as well?
It killed the Razorback as well.
Yeah.
And it left literally one standard Space Marine hanging out.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the fight with Unity, and that was honestly the best play I've ever had. And the one that Wib did to me by blowing up my Redemptor was probably the best play he's ever had.
Just a couple of good dice rolls sometimes can just change the entire game.
A couple of good / incredibly unlucky.
Also, having enough las cannon shots to be able to one-shot Dreadnoughts against a Dreadnought army is also very helpful.
But, fine, okay.
Don't.
Yeah, but that was the only one you one-shot.
No, I one-shot plenty of others.
Well, no, one...
Okay, they were all wounded, so... I mean,
they're all wounded. That doesn't count.
But they weren't wounded by me, they were wounded by the explosion
they were wounded...
You're getting on a technicality here, Webb. Come on.
Yeah, if you have to argue technicalities, you're being a fucking dingus.
The only other thing I think that's really kind of big to mention from that game is Luca. So if people aren't familiar, Luca's shown up a few times on the channel.
Yeah.
Which is...
He's
Snipe's old Forge World Mark IV
Venerable Dreadnought.
Venerable Dread.
He is beautiful. He is my darling little puppy, and I love him so much.
And he is a very lucky boy.
I named him Luca because it's a very old Swedish word that means happiness / luck. So I thought that was an appropriate name.
Yes.
Before everyone starts getting cranky going, actually it means happiness. It's like, yeah, it does, but it also means luck, so heck off. But yeah, he got his name because the first fight I ever took him in when he was basically a Black Reach Dreadnought, I upgraded him to the fancy one. He basically took so much, he managed to avoid getting shot to pieces throughout an entire game. And I think this is when he got, you could get arms blown off.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I
forgot when they had,
Yeah.
This was 5th edition. So.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And he was just so lucky with not getting murdered. I think it was the very last couple of turns where he finally bit the dust. But he did so well, I was like, I gotta immortalize that darling. So now he's my old Forge World Venerable Space Wolf Dread. And he was so fucking lucky in this game. He was true to his name again.
Yeah, so he didn't take any wounds from the initial explosion, but I dropped off my Stern Guard squad nearby him who have a multi-melter.
Yep.
And I think the multi-melter did do 6 wounds to him.
It did, and he has 8 wounds, so he was down to 2 basically from that one shot.
But then...
And then,
I fired everything at him that I had nearby. So I fired everything else the veteran squad had, which was mostly just bolters, but there's also a grav gun in there.
Yeah, grav guns are fucking nasty.
I threw a twin-linked assault cannon and storm bolter from a Razorback that just dropped them off into him. Yep. I think one of those took down 1 wound, so it was down to 1.
He was at 1 wound.
Then my Fury...
For, most of the game.
My Furioso took pot shots at him with its Storm Bolter and Melter Gun. That didn't work, so I charged with my Furioso. Now, my Furioso at this point, I think had taken 1 wound. And so I charged in. I don't think I took anything from being overwatched. And then got into combat, where I proceeded to do absolutely nothing, despite the fact this is a Furioso, which is not bad at close combat.
So the Furioso just slightly slapping the chassis of Luca, just like,
Yeah. And then Luca...
The run over made it tired.
Luca with 1 wound...
1 wound.
Then took down my Furioso down to 1 wound itself.
Yep.
You do not fuck with Luca.
And I was just like... It was one of those things where I was just like, what is even happening? What eventually killed Luca?
I can't remember. Your Death Company squad charged him.
Oh yeah, my Death Company squad charged him earlier in the game.
Yeah,
and the Thunderhammer did nothing.
They literally... I think... he must have been on 3 wounds, because I think they did 1 wound, and then he literally the next turn killed half of them, and then Murderfang charged in with its 7 attacks and killed the rest of them.
You sent me a
yes.
message as soon as this happened, because you were like, Murderfang, good.
I sent Longfang like a fucking text going, dude, I've just charged my Murderfang into a fucking Death Company squad. With 7 attacks at strength fucking 12.
Yeah, no.
Reroll to wounds.
Murderfang is... He might have a dodgy looking face, but he's a combat beast.
Yeah, I know. I've got the skull on it. Which is funny because a lot of people seem to, because the actual like weird crazy face thing looks ugly.
It looks a damn sight better than the crazy face, yeah.
Yeah,
so
the little wolf skull's a lot better.
Yeah. So I just say mine is accounts as Murderfang, because Murderfang's lore and like faceplate is garbage. But yeah, so we took those out. I think my Iron Priest had healed up Murderfang, but not Luca. Didn't get to Luca for a while.
He did heal up Luca
No,
in the end.
he did heal up Luca in the end, but the thing is, I think we went through another couple of, like, just you trying to shoot the shit out of Luca on 1 wound and just not doing anything.
I can't remember what actually killed Luca in the end. I don't remember. I suspect it was probably las cannons.
It was, I think...
Really? Las cannons in your army?
Yeah. Because he poked out from the other side, and you could... Because if you can see any of the model, you could basically just get a shot on. And... You, like, I think you actually missed with 3 of the 4 shots, and 1 of them hit and did a wound. So. And yeah, and he didn't explode. But, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just, honestly, I don't, like, that game was awesome. Because it was just great. And then I had literally, Wib whittled me down to just my las cannon dread. Just that boy. He poked out, and I was like, no, this is why I play 40k. This is why I play Space Wolves. So I just literally popped out and just started fucking running towards this fucking like this rhino and this fucking squad with the 2 fucking like reroll dudes in it and the fucking Land Raider. And I fire off, and I do a lot of wounds. Like, I do for me. I think my 2 shots. I think I do like 2 wounds.
I think you did actually destroy the Razorback.
I did. Yeah. And it didn't explode. I was sitting there like holding my breath, going, "Fucking explode! Explode, please, please!" And it didn't, because that would have been fucking action movie levels of amazing.
Yeah, that would have been like the best possible sort of like last stand ending.
Because then I would have basically been like, yada yada. But yeah, and then he ran and he got fucking destroyed by that Land Raider. And then I used a command point, which was only in death does duty end, which means that I can basically just have another shooting phase, and I missed everything. I missed every shot. But it was honestly such an intense game. Like, I don't mind that was my first loss, because I was so unlucky, and then Luca was so fucking lucky, and it was just so much fun, and it was just crazy.
I think that's the main thing as well. Like, okay, yeah, you lost, but you had a great time.
Exactly.
I was personally just happy that my curse of rolling abysmally whenever I play my Blood Angels has finally seemingly come to an end.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you know, when you roll anything to do with your Death Company.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like you didn't even have to break out your lucky squig dice.
Yeah, no, I was just using my regular dice. My squig dice didn't have to come out. So
no, the little meatballs.
Are those lucky dice now?
Yes, I always roll better with them.
Oh.
I bought myself a dice block as well, and because it was from Amazon, and you know how they're like, oh, anything from 8 a.m. to 9 or 10 p.m. And I was like, shit, we're leaving at like 11. They're not gonna get here in time. And just as Wib goes out, like to like go feed his mum's cat, he comes back in and he's like, I think there might be some mail for you. And I freak out and I'm like, oh, my dice is here. And also I got a shirt. I got a Critical Role shirt, which is their Pride shirt.
Oh,
it's
nice.
so lovely. I mean, it's expensive, but I mean, it's like pretty much, I think it's for July. All proceeds go to like a charity. So I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's great. I get a Crit Roll shirt. I get a Pride Crit Roll shirt. Because it's like, it's got like, don't forget to love each other. And it's got like D20 surrounding it with all the Pride flag.
I think I saw that design. Yeah, it's a really nice design.
It's gorgeous. And it's like, the thing is, it's like, I know I'm gushing about a shirt, but like, on the back, it's got like the Critical Role logo. And on the back of the inside of the neck, it's got like, so how do you want to wear this? On it. Nice. And I was just like, that's so cool. But yeah, so that I wore my new shirt and I used my dice and I had an amazing game and I bought another dreadnought and I learned how to do frost weapons and I got to hang out with my husbando. It was just a really good day.
I like how you're saying like you had nothing to talk about and we've been recording for 40 minutes.
Yeah. This is just how it goes. But yeah, that's me done.
Okay.
I'm done now, seeing as Wib is butt face. I think Longfang can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we have to ask Wib what he's been doing. Wib, what have you been doing, darling?
A few things. I mean, for one, you weren't the only one who bought a Dreadnought at Warhammer World, because I bought a Leviathan Dreadnought.
I am so not looking forward to that.
Look, all I'll say is that I just looked up the rules for it and looked up what a flux something
Gravflux Bombard.
Gravflux Bombard does.
It's referred to as the Snipe fucker.
I mean, I looked
not
up
in
what
that
those,
way.
Whatever you're into, Snipe.
Shut up.
I'm not going to, shame you or anything. It's fine.
But I looked up
the Snipe Destroyer. How does that sound?
I looked up what that did, and I was just like, oh, I need one of those. And I was going to get the Blood Angels Contemptor at some point anyway, and then I was like, well, if I'm already spending that much money, the Leviathan's not that much more, and is a different level of unit. Mm-hmm. So, so that's going to be a thing.
It is actually an absolute unit.
Yes.
A certified unit is that boy.
A big, chonky boy. I'm hoping to actually do a video like the night one that we put out a little bit ago. To do one of those, but assembling, magnetizing, and painting Leviathan. Yeah. That might not happen because it is quite a big undertaking, but
that's your plan. Anyway.
That's my plan. So I hope that comes to fruition. But apart from that, I've done a couple of things. I've played a little bit of the game My Friend Pedro.
Oh, that's a Devolver one, isn't it?
It's a Devolver one
with bananas.
Yes, with bananas. Say thank you to Bearded Cyborg, who's the one that gifted that to us. So thank you. It's quite good. It fits into the category of most Devolver games of being something that is really cool, stylish, hyper-violent, and I want to be about 4 times better at it than I ever will be.
One of them kind of games.
Because the basic conceit is, so you wake up having been like kidnapped, and it's like a side scroller, but it's like 3D rendered. And you run around picking up guns and just taking out everyone that's getting in your way. Initially, because you basically kind of you'd been kidnapped, so you're working your way out of there, fighting through all these fighting
through all these crimes.
These crime. I wanted to use the term crime boss goons, but then I realised that sentence doesn't make sense. But basically, the henchmen of this crime lord.
That's probably a better way of saying that.
That is.
Yeah.
So you fight your way through them, but the thing that makes the game kind of special is that it's not just a simple kind of side-scrolly shooter, that it's designed to make everything really kind of over the top and cinematic. So like if you press up, then your guy does like does pirouettes whilst firing randomly.
Oh, some John Wick shit right there.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can like if you go into like bullet time, which is a somewhat overdone mechanic, but given that this does something special with it, does sort of make it a bit better, because you use that bullet time to say like dive through a window, and then while you've got the couple of seconds of bullet time, select someone with right click and then move your mouse over to the person you actually want to shoot, and then that means you'll split your fire between those two people, because right-clicking effectively designates a target.
Really well done.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
You can also like kick tables over and kick knives into people's heads.
Honestly, you know, I've always wanted to do that, where I'm just kind of like sitting around looking like a big dick pirate, and I'm just like leaning there and being cool, and then like someone points a gun at me, and I just kind of flip the table, and I'm just like I crouch, and I'm like, Wednesdays or something.
And then you find out that a table absolutely couldn't stop a bullet.
And then I get shot to death, immediately.
It's fine. It was the finest mahogany braced by steel. It's fine.
It's Fenrisian mahogany. It's fine. It's got
Snipe
fangs.
specifically had it made just for this sort of occasion.
Yeah, and I literally take it everywhere. It's like a fold-up card table, but I take it everywhere. And if I'm waiting for the bus, I just unfold it, and I'm like, ugh. Just like leaning on it, and just everyone's just like, okay. Or if I'm like in line at the post office, I just fold out and I just sit there waiting on the off chance. Like anytime I'm not walking, I basically just sit there, fold it out, and lean on it, like, you know, with a toothpick in my mouth. And
it's somewhat undermined by the fact that you just have one of those really cheap fold-out chairs to go with it, because you couldn't afford to get a chair made just as fancy.
Yeah, but I did like, you know, it's fine though, because I've put like
it's
I
like
put
a branded one,
note.
Like a cheap one. It's got minions on it and everything.
Yeah, and it was the only one they had left in Argos, and it was very obviously for children. But I have like a cute post-it note, because I like to collect post-it notes and page markers. That's like a little like narwhal with a rainbow, and I've just written the chair is also bulletproof, and just put it on there, and hopefully I'm hoping to trick people, because they're like, oh,
it's some sort of spell you're trying to cast on it.
I'm going to get back to the subject at hand.
Oh, fine.
I mean, if you have to.
So yes, my friend Pedro, you're basically being talked to by a banana that is your friend.
Is the banana's name Pedro?
Yes, it hovers around and talks to you. I don't know why. Once you get to the end of this first area, you do like a... It reminds me a lot of the bike chase from Final Fantasy VII. Except you shoot.
I'm listening.
You shoot all bikes coming behind you, and then you have a boss fight against the guy in a van.
Vans are the boss fights of the highway.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, have you seen the things guys in white vans get up to driving?
I've played White Van Racer. I know what it's like.
If you call that driving...
Fair.
White Van Racer is a game by Phoenix Games, the people who made Dinosaur and Mighty Mulan.
Good old Phoenix Games.
But yeah, and so like, you know, you do freeze time to like shoot bombs out the air that are being thrown at you, things like that. The second section of levels that I got to, which is where I've currently stopped right now, is you stumble into a bounty hunter's Christmas party. So they're all wearing like Christmas jumpers.
That's adorable.
And you kind of walk through, and they're just like, oh, you know, you go through, friend, it's fine. And then you get a bounty called on you. So the rest of the levels, you fighting Christmas sweater wearing bounty hunters.
Dang. It's like if Dramat was suddenly a bounty hunter.
It's split into like lots of little levels where it's all about like trying to get a high score and things. So that it's got heavy replayability, because like, you know, you go into things repeatedly, but also it's not too unfair with like making you do huge swathes of things.
So combat fatigue is somewhat alleviated.
Yeah. It's good, but again, like a lot of the devolver things like Hotline Miami and things like that, I'm not very good at it. But I wish I was.
Yeah.
It's a good game that I don't feel like I'm not doing it justice when I'm playing it. You know what I mean? One of those sort of things.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games with like almost in the same way or the same vein of Devil May Cry, where you can learn the mechanics and play it fine, and like, you know, have fun with it. But there's going to be those people that are aiming just to do it as stylishly as possible.
Yeah.
or as efficiently as possible in like Hotline Miami. So yeah,
there's a definite like line between just getting through the game and getting high scores. Like there's like a gulf of difference between those two things. But it is a good game. I've only played like an hour or so of it so far, because even though it is quite nice with kind of not letting you get too fatigued with it, it is still a lot going on. So it's the sort of thing which, given the kind of structure of it, is quite easy to just play a little bit here and there of. So, but it's good from what I've played so far. So yeah,
that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
The only other thing I've really done, apart from been working in the background on a handful of videos, like by the time you listen to this, my monthly painting video for June will actually be out.
How are you doing for the models purchased to models painted ratio?
I'm still okay. I'm still in the positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking in.
I'm
basically like low-key insinuating that you aren't allowed to buy anything else that will help you fight my Dreadnought army using your own self-imposed rules.
I have a plan.
You're just gonna play Iron Man 40k with me, but only I'm gonna be having my models destroyed. You'll bring the hammer.
Yeah.
I won't know this is happening.
No. I think I'm at 29 models painted right now against 26, 27 bought.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And quite a lot of those have been for channel stuff, so it's not as bad as it initially might seem. And hey, I'm still in the green right now, which is not something everyone can say.
Shut up. Yeah, Longfang and I just kind of side-eye, just like,
Oh, Snipe, I'm worse off than you, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But apart from like doing some video stuff in the background, I've watched through the entirety of Gravity Falls because I wanted something to replace me watching I watched like the whole Steven Universe like last time. So I was like, what's kind of one of the other like one of those kid shows that I'd quite like to watch through because they seem like they've got a bit more to them. And that one of those was Gravity Falls.
I've been meaning to get back to that because I do really like Gravity Falls.
It's a lot easier to watch than Steven Universe because there's only 2 seasons of it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds a lot easier.
As opposed to 5.
Yeah.
Although admittedly, the episodes are twice as long, so, you know. It's also not quite as heavy on the storyline. A lot more of the episodes are a bit more standalone. But I will say it is good. I mean, it's like, unfortunately, because of having just watched Steven Universe, I kind of went into it slightly comparing it to that, and it's not as good as that. But
I mean, that's why you don't compare.
Yeah, basically. But it's a really good show. I will say the general look of the show, like, because one thing that drew me to it, and blah blah blah. Blah, words. One of the things that drew me to it initially was the look of the backgrounds and how well crafted that was and how they blended in really interesting lighting into a lot of the shots. Which, that carries on throughout the rest of the show, and it does look really fucking great. And it's just a nice little show.
I love Dipper and Mabel. They're very good. Very good characters. Very cute. It reminds me of, like, my brother and I.
Well, I mean, the characters are based on Alex Hirsch, the creator, and his sister.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun. There's, like, a little special they did where they did, like, a kind of comedy interview with Alex Hirsch, where they asked him about, like, what characters were based on and like some of the little hidden things in the show, because like if you don't know, Gravity Falls is basically the X-Files for kids.
Yeah.
Set in like an Oregon town where just weird shit happens and the kids are kind of investigating it, and they found a book which is like a journal that is kind of like the Necronomicon Junior.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
But it's just written by a guy. It's not, the book isn't magical or like evil. It's just got information about all the weird shit.
It's a Lovecraft version of the Necronomicon.
Mm-hmm. I suppose, yes. It's the real world version of the Necronomicon. But and so they go and investigate all these weird things. Like the first episode, like they find gnomes.
This is where Smebulok comes.
That's where Smebulok comes from. A gnome that can only say the word Smebulok, and that's his name.
Yep.
Good.
It's like, so these are the gnomes. This is like Terry, David, Stephen, and Jerry, and... sorry, what was your name again? Smebulok. and Smebulok.
Good.
And they go around the town finding all these weird things that are going on. Again, it feels very X-Filesy, but because of the nature of it, of having this kind of like mystery thing, there's lots of hidden things in it that were placed in there. So an example from this little special that I saw was, so part of the mystery of the show is who wrote the journals, and there is a bit early on where you see the person who's writing the journal. Because the mysterious thing about the journals, they've got a 6-fingered hand.
Oh god, they killed Inigo Montoya's dad.
I was about to say that.
Shit! How far does it go?
And so there's a clip where you see the author who has 6 fingers writing a bit in the book and then closing it, and there's a reflection in the background of something which is actually subtly hinted at where that is, because you see that area with that reflection in an earlier episode.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
But your eyes aren't drawn to it, so you'd have to really be looking for it.
That's really
little
nice
touches
touch.
like that throughout the show, and the second series especially has these little flashcards at the end which show pages of the journals. And if you were to freeze frame them and cut them all out and put them all together, you'd actually see faces of the people that it's related to, but you can't see enough of them in any one to work that out.
Oh dang, that's rad.
So eventually you might be able to work out.
So you've got to play Junior Detective as well.
Yeah, and there's loads of things like that, and loads of the characters are based on people that Alex Hirsch knew, or members of the writing staff.
Like Seuss is amazing.
Yeah, the character of Seuss is named after a guy and based on a guy that Alex Hirsch knew at college, because he's like the handyman in the show, who is broadly speaking incompetent but super helpful,
and he's so lovely
and just a nice guy.
Seuss is amazing.
And he'd meet him in the computer lab and he'd be like, hey dude, do you want to help do you want me to fix the printer? And it's like, I don't need the printer. It's like, I'm gonna go fix the printer. And then like 10 minutes later you come back and go, hey, do you want to help me fix the printer? Because he broke it.
I broke the printer.
And he said Zeus is based on him. He's like, he was this destructive force, but in this so pure way that he was just a lovely guy. And so he based the whole character off him.
That's awesome.
But it builds up, and there's there's lots of conspiracy theory nods to it, and things like that. It's a good little show. I can definitely recommend if you haven't watched it. You feel like watching like kind of cartoon, modern cartoons, because I do think there is this kind of there's this thing where sometimes people get quite snobby about like old cartoons and say, oh, it was just better in the 80s. Yes. And I presume people that say that...
I have seen 80s cartoons. Yeah. I grew up on them. No, they fucking weren't.
The animation's pretty naff, and they're usually just all there for toy lines.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Batman the Animated Series was a work of fucking art.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's not to say that there weren't good cartoons in the past, because there absolutely
was. But we remember the Batman the Animated Series. We remember the X-Men. We remember like the Spider-Man cartoons. We remember Transformers. We don't remember the dozens and dozens of pieces of shit that would have been pumped out as well.
Yeah. We don't remember like the fucking what was it? We don't remember Mask. We don't remember the Centurions. Well, actually, people do remember Mask and the Centurions, but the somewhat more cheaper sort of
all the like really obvious kind of talking like fight animal men's are popular now, so let's just have a bunch of those.
Didn't the Infaceables have a cartoon?
I don't know. But yeah, it's just...
Well, even look at the amount of stuff that... this is a bit before the 80s, mind you, but like Hanna-Barbera pumped out so many shows.
Oh, what, like fucking Jabberjaw?
They just reused everything. Yeah. They were so cheap that they could just continually pump out stuff.
Yep.
I think there is something. It's really interesting to watch like modern kids shows, like the good end of them, because the big change I feel is that they are not afraid of serialization, but to do series that are fundamentally comedies, but to have a serious story with a heart. Because whilst there were old shows that did have like continuous storylines that fed into each other, like the two that come to mind for some reason are Exo Squad and Beast Wars.
Beast Wars was terrible.
Beast Wars is actually but the animation looks like shit now, but the actual like characters are actually written really well.
I know, like I just remember it just being like it. I mean, I loved it as a kid, Like, Cheetor was my dude, and I loved the fucking... What's the dinosaur one?
Dinobot.
Dinobot. Not a clever
Was he
name.
just called Dino? Oh,
He was just called Dinobot.
He's voiced by the same guy that does Lord Bale's voice in Dawn of War 1, and he has the exact same voice. He's Dinobot.
That just sounds like a higher-pitched Willem Dafoe.
Kind of.
Because that's how we do Willem Dafoe's
That's
voice.
like a gremlin version.
Yeah.
Like an actual tiny gremlin version of Willem Dafoe.
Gremlin Dafoe.
Ugh.
Gremlin Dafoe. There you go.
But yeah, but there is, I think there is a sort of commitment to really doing good serialization in a lot of modern kid shows, and they kind of embrace slightly heavier themes while still having the goofy comedy.
What I was going to say there, yeah. That's embracing, maybe not heavier themes as much, but they're not kind of talking down to kids with that show.
Yeah. And the two that I've recently watched, being Steven Universe and Gravity Falls, have both had moments of like dealing with sort of interesting ideas, but just not talking down to kids, and it's just kind of nice to see them, and they do have like genuinely engaging stories and characters, so they are completely watchable. I'm a 32-year-old person, and I sat and I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. I'm sort of debating over to what to try and watch next.
Gumball.
Actually, that's a good one.
I've heard good things.
I don't think that's got so
Ash
much.
and Sarah, like always put that on for their girl Liara, and she loves it, and they love watching it as well.
Yeah, I've not. I don't think that's
do you
really
remember
got
seeing
the
that balloon clip?
where the balloon stuffs a fucking cucumber up it.
It's like
What?
a melon or something. I will send it to you
Okay.
after, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
god.
thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
You do so much good for me.
I'm a good friend.
I don't believe
You're the
Gumball
best of
has
friends.
like a continuous storyline or anything, but it's
No.
of that sort of era. At some point, I should probably watch through the rest of Adventure Time, but I don't know.
You get a bit burnt out on it.
I feel that I watched a fair bit of Adventure Time, but I feel like it almost feels like Steven Universe does that same kind of thing, but better. I may be wrong, and I will go back and watch it at some point, but that's just like from what I saw of Adventure Time.
Yeah.
So
is Adventure Time still like running, like in active
think
production,
it
or is it just ended?
It's ended as far
right.
as
I
I'm
wasn't
aware,
sure
yeah.
because is it fairly long now?
It did have quite a few seasons, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But yeah, so I'll probably get through and watch through that at some point. But yeah, so all I'm going to say is, yeah, a thumbs up for Gravity Falls. Give it a watch. It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Cool.
it's good.
Good times, fun
good.
times.
But yeah, it's good. So I guess then I will turn over to our guest Longfang and ask what you have been doing over the last few weeks.
Tell us.
I haven't been worrying what the hell I should say while I stayed at my notepad of stuff that I'd played that I haven't actually put any notes, just what I actually played.
In
Yeah.
fairness, we used to keep really in-depth notes. Now we just write down. I've just got like Gravity Falls, My Friend Pedro, Bounty Hunter, Christmas
Okay,
Party.
it's exactly the same as my notes then. Good,
Yeah.
good.
Oh shit! I also beat Bloodstained.
Ah, yes.
You
yes,
can't
yes,
help
yes,
but
yes.
just like step on other people's segments, can you?
Oh no, it's for Bloodstained. I'm fine with that.
I was just gonna say, it's good.
It's a good game.
Really good game. Definitely recommend it. Go play it. Yeah. It do.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, firing pigs at people never stopped being a valid tactic. Beat the entire game firing pigs at people. Yes.
And that never stops. There is another enemy that is slightly different design and like attack, still makes that noise.
Yeah. All of that enemy type. When you hit them, they go ah. Ooh. And it makes me laugh every time.
It makes me honestly. It's
it's
just
so good.
It keeps getting funnier. I don't understand how.
But yes, sorry, Longfang.
No, it's completely alright. Bloodstained is worth it. It's really good. I've been meaning to actually go back and play it again as well. But yes, last couple of week or so, decided to play some Destiny 2 because I am a hermit that needs a game to just chill out with. It's my version of Snipe Sims, I guess.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but let's be honest, it's not as a hardcore game as The Sims 4.
Oh,
Fang.
no
I
way.
mean, I don't want to call you a fake gamer, but I mean, you're kind of a casual.
I am the fakest of gamers, it's fine.
Filthy casual.
I have to live with that fact every day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Really, just gets to me sometimes, but we just get through it.
Yeah, no, it just burns me up inside, but yeah.
Yeah, it burns you up inside, the hatred you have for me for being a casual. Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
How can you even have me as a friend?
So Destiny 2.
Yes. Decided to finally just say fuck it, buckled in and played a shit ton of one of the PvP modes to try and get a exotic light machine gun.
You're a stronger man than I cannot stand PvP.
Now, well, yeah, I don't tend to do PvP as in Crucible, which is like actual just team deathmatch or, holding ground, etc, etc. What I played was Gambit, which is slightly different. It is like, it is head-to-head, PvP, but both your teams are separated.
Okay.
So, each side has to kill enemies, like just, NPC enemies, Fallen or Cabal or whatever, grab a resource and then bank it.
So is this a bit MOBA-y then?
I wouldn't say it's MOBA, because the grabbing resource and then banking them to summon the big boss is slightly different.
It's more RTS.
Yeah, a little bit. But basically, yeah, you kill enemies, grab resource, take resource back to bank, put in bank, it collects it, and then you get so much, you summon the big boss enemy that you need to kill, and then if you kill that first, you win the match or the round.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
There are little quirks to it, like you can carry, I think, a maximum of 15 motes, which is the resource you're grabbing. For every 5, 5, 10 and 15, each of those sends a blocker to the enemy side that locks down their bank.
Okay.
And the higher the amount of motes is, if it's a 15-point blocker, it's a large one, medium one, small one, etc, etc. And you can also, at times, invade their play area.
Okay, I was going to ask that. Do you ever interact with the enemy at all? Yeah.
Yes. So, a portal will open, and one person from your team gets to go through and basically just be a chronic pain in the arse. That is the only bit of Gambit I don't like, because I'm not geared up for like the PvP meta, or I don't know the guns that are good in PvP. I just like what I like. And there's times when it's like, oh yeah, an enemy's invaded and they'll be here for 15 seconds or whatever the countdown is. They only get to stay there for a certain amount of time. So they're not like camping one spot and killing you 8 times.
Yeah.
And I've got like 12 motes on me. I'm just going to run to the bank before they get me. And out of nowhere, I'm hit by something that I don't even know what it was.
Ugh.
Like a tracking missile from one of the other exotic weapons, or God knows what. I'm like, oh, this is the only bit that bothers me about the entire thing, especially when you've summoned the big boss enemy that you need to kill to win the round. If an enemy invades and kills you, it gives the boss health back.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's awful.
Yeah. That's the only stuff I don't like about it. So you can have great rounds sometimes where you just stomp someone, and then other times it's a chore.
So basically the only part of this PvP game that you don't like is the PvP part.
Fucking
Okay, like we can't complain or like anything, because literally playing WoW as someone who is socially anxious and doesn't want to play with other people.
Yeah.
We don't have a leg to stand on.
Oh no, I get you.
Oh, I mean,
I actually I actually kind of like Destiny 2's PvP, honestly. Like, yeah. I enjoyed it, but I know that whenever I dragged you, Longfang, into it, it was through gritted teeth, so...
When it came to, like, Iron Banner events, which is when you usually drag me in, it's like, okay, I'm getting cool gear out of it, I'll live with it. And it was my same thinking with this light machine gun I wanted. It took, like, 2 days of grinding, and because I have no life, that was not a small amount of time I spent playing it. We're talking 10s to 20s of hours grinding it. But I managed to get it, and thus I will never play Gambit again, I think.
Well, at least you've tried.
Fair. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And also the reason I wanted this light machine gun is purely because it has 2 barrels.
Nice.
So it's like a light machine storm bolter.
I like
You just want a double gun.
Yes, double gun is important to me. But other than that, with Destiny, like I really just play it as like a game where I can listen to a podcast, or in the case of this week, because of that grind, I thought I need to watch something, and I've watched most of the big long YouTube playlists that I would usually just repeat. How are the English dubs for Jojo?
Well, Matt Mercer's Jotaro, and Matt Mercer good. I would probably die for.
Yeah, fair.
And I don't know if I have a choice, but I will.
Difficult decision. So I watched Jojo Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, the entire English dub, just in the background while I was playing. It was really good.
Oh, dang. Nice.
Genuinely really enjoyed it. There's nothing at this point after watching it that sticks out as like, okay, that one actor didn't put in the best performance and it was kind of annoying. Like, typical anime girl voice or something like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Snipe.
Hi. I'm not going to do it because it'll, like, probably scare people.
Yeah, fair. Nothing like that. It was just genuinely pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Part 4 is great. Honestly, I'm really looking forward.
We're still on Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to you guys getting to part 4.
I just love my Joseph so much, and I love it how he's in literally every other part. Obviously, which is why I'm going to watch them all. Actually,
yeah, he's in every part forever.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
That's really cool and an actual thing.
Whenever Joseph isn't on screen,
they
people
should
be going.
We should all be
where's
asking,
Joseph?
Where's Joseph?
That's fair. Orewa Joseph.
But yeah, good times with that. Great for background stuff as well, because I can just listen to like the cool music and weird sound effects and stuff and just lose myself for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Also played a bit of Verdun / Tannenberg, which are World War I PvP first person shooters.
Is that like all trench warfare stuff?
Yes. Yeah. Well, Verdun is Tannenberg isn't. That's what I found interesting. Tannenberg is based on the Eastern Front, so it's like Russia and areas like that. Not trench lines. You're just holding different or trying to get different positions.
Okay.
And get victory points basically. And there's no machine guns for troops to carry.
Oh, so it's not like Battlefield
Everyone's got
1.
rifles and pistols. Yeah, no, everyone has...
Battlefield 1 with its airdrops and fucking...
Yeah.
I don't actually know if it has, like, fucking orbital bombardments or fucking whatever.
No, you can't call in artillery, because that was a huge part of World War One.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of like, you call in artillery and it sends you, like, Amazon-branded drones. And it sends you things like incense.
No, it would be like Amazon-branded pigeons.
Yeah.
You know what, actually, I would forgive Battlefield 1 many sins if they did do, like, microtransactions, like loot drops being pigeons.
I wouldn't.
I mean, okay, I'd forgive them for, like, an eighth of a second, because that would be a really fun way to enable it.
I think you mean surprise mechanics.
I do not.
Yeah. Okay.
Just need to take a second and just
swallow down that rage.
Yeah.
But anyway,
fuck off, EA. Anyway, Tannenberg and Verdun are, they're very, I wouldn't say they're accurate, but every weapon is historically accurate. So there are no, like, ridiculous guns like in Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Most people will have a revolver or a bolt-action rifle, or the French get a couple of semi-automatic rifles, and you've got your light machine guns that are kind of horrendous to use. And it's good fun. It's not a game that I would say I play for, like, relaxation. It's just, I just want to play this. You have to be in a certain mindset for it, I think.
Yeah.
Because you die constantly, but that's sort of half the point, because that's what World War One was.
Mm. Yeah, no, yeah.
But yeah, good fun. It's a weird one, and I can never say I don't like it or I really like it. It's just good.
I mean, that's all you need, really.
Yeah.
So.
Also started playing Yakuza 0 again.
So you can get ideas for your Burusera ring?
Fuck you.
Oh, come on, you know that you've... Like, I know that you and Wib have a Burusera, like, ring.
I don't even know what that means.
Google it.
I'm not going to Google it.
No, don't.
Okay, Burusera is...
Yeah, I was just going to say incognito mode, but okay.
Incognito mode, but is basically the practice of buying underwear from women.
Oh, okay.
So, it shouldn't be women. Like, I want to go buy a bunch of pants, not used ones, because that's weird. You know, my parents used to shop at a charity shop that had a pile of used underwear.
Oh, that's a bad time.
This actually does remind me of something I want.
What the fuck does that remind you of?
You'll see.
I don't want to.
So, Longfang.
Longfang, help me.
Longfang.
Yes, Web.
You are a streamer, correct?
I am a streamer, correct.
So what I'm wondering is, given the current economy and, with Brexit on the horizon,
yes.
for extra income, when are you going to be selling branded Longfang bathwater?
Well, I'm working on that. The problem is I don't have a bath.
Long bath. It's just a really long.
One reason is that I am very tall, so I don't fit in a bath very well.
Well,
the other reason is we just have a shower cubicle now.
Just put your butt in a bucket. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I guess you could get a mug of water and pour it over yourself, and then catch it in another mug.
Yeah, that's
just create some sort of like system where it just funnels back down into another container.
Or what you do is you go into your kitchen, and you make custard. Right? You make really starchy custard. Like, you pour like an entire box of corn flour into that right?
Yeah,
you with me?
I'm listening.
You cook it up in a huge, those huge, stew pots. Because you'll need a lot for it. Okay,
yeah.
So what you do is, you do that. You wait for it to cool down a little bit, then you go and you pour it down your shower drain. And wait for it to basically solidify into concrete, because it's stronger than ceramite and any surface known to man, hardened custard, right?
Okay.
Then literally just shut your shower and just have a shower.
You're making me have it's like a sensory deprivation tank you're creating.
Yeah, and then just basically get mum or dad Fang in to just scoop out buckets of your bath water.
Yeah.
Somehow, I think that involving your parents in the supply chain
makes it
of your
so much sexier.
of your internet bathwater, it just makes
it's
it
more
really
artisanal and wholesome, though.
Then you can be harvested by 100% free-range parents.
I don't know. It seems somehow just a little bit more skeevy when the parents are involved.
So with the global community, you do realize there is one person out there who is jacking off to that idea. Just I'm not. They don't listen to the podcast or whatever. It's just some random person out there.
Yeah.
It's just ooh, I'd love to see a man fill up a shower by filling the drain, by blocking the drain.
Specifically a Scotsman.
Specifically a Scotsman. The one true Scotsman having a shower. And his parents coming in and just siphoning off his bath water to sell it on Etsy. But okay, but I also want to say, because I've seen a lot of nasty shit about this person who's selling her bath water. And I just want to say that good on her.
Capitalism's a bitch, however you can live.
It's if you need to eat and you're comfortable with doing something, and she is providing a service that some people want. I don't see the problem there. But yeah, get ready for the water TM.
Everyone, just so you know, look at the amount of attention she's brought to herself and her streams and whatever else she does.
Yeah, no, good on her.
Just from this.
Advertising is expensive, so
exactly.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also, because of that, I got to see a video of her just eating a raw egg.
Oh. Okay, so you know how I was hey, do whatever you want. Don't eat raw eggs. You'll get sick.
Well, okay, she didn't eat them. She devoured it and then let the yolk fall out of her mouth.
Hey, fine.
Apparently, there's a thing with raw eggs with her.
It's fine.
It's not my world. I don't know what's going on.
Who the fuck am I to judge?
I'm an old, terrified man in a world that is new and scary to me all the time.
That's fine. I mean, again, that if there's a market for it and you're comfortable doing it and you know and people are willing to pay, I don't understand the fucking problem.
Yeah,
it's
everything's legal and above board. Everyone's on board with it. Yeah, but yeah,
everything's consensual. Who gives a shit?
Exactly. But yeah, no. So yeah,
you realise that entire just diversion was because I mentioned Yakuza 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've been playing Yakuza 0.
Yep, which is, of course, a very, very serious game about the criminal underworld.
Yeah, it's like GTA on crack.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was originally made to be a Japanese GTA.
But then somehow it was better than it because it didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, the tonal whiplash when you play a Yakuza game is incredible.
Like, please find my daughter, I fear for her life. She is the light of my life. And then the next one is just the fucking... What's his name? Kojima? Hajima?
Majima.
Majima Anywhere system happens, and you're like... He'll pop out of a sewer grate and fight
That's
you.
exactly why I went back and started playing Yakuza 0, because Kiwami, which is a remake... Yakuza Kiwami is out in PC. Kiwami 2, those are the remakes of Yakuza 1 and 2. And they have like different systems and run a different engine. Yakuza Kiwami has the Majima Everywhere system in it, where he will just pop up in different places, including a hostess club where he dressed up as a hostess.
I've seen that.
And you have a nice night with her.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's completely like Kiryu, completely straight-faced, talking to Majima, weird man with eye patch, strange hair, covered in tattoos, looks just this like the stereotypical Yakuza, just having a nice time talking to each other. While he's wearing a sequin dress.
Aww.
Excellent.
It's kind of sweet.
That actually sounds like really lovely.
And then after that date, they have a fight, because of course they do.
Well, maybe that's their foreplay. You don't know that. Right? But yeah, no, that really reminds me of Gokushu Fudo, Way of the House Husband, which is a manga that I fucking love.
Yeah, I think you brought it up a couple of weeks ago on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll say it again, just in case anyone didn't hear.
To summarise, because everyone needs to know about it.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, in the same vein of, like, silly Japanese Yakuza kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, it follows an ex-Yakuza guy called Tatsu, who was referred to as Immortal Tatsu. And he is scary. Like, every fucking like picture of him is like at an angle where he's doing the evil Japanese head back, looking down at you, and he dresses in
the shadowed eyes and stuff like that.
And, like, he dresses in like suits, and he's got the Yakuza tattoos. He's like fucking shredded, and he's terrifying. He's also a house husband for like his wife works at like I can't remember, like she's quite high up in like the business world.
Yeah.
And they're just like super duper in love, and it's just following Tatsu. Basically, like, he has like a Shiba Inu like fluffy apron, and he goes shopping with his wife, and he sees the clerk, and he's got his head back, and he's like, "Hey, you got any of the white stuff, high grain?" And the woman's like, "No, we don't have any stuff of that there." And his wife pops in and goes, "Oh, he means flour." I'm sorry. And like, just how he cooks like these beautiful meals for her, and like he just loves basically taking care of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And
how like intense
he's so intense.
Like, he treats everything he does for his wife, every bit of housework, every meal he cooks, like it's a Yakuza job where he needs to kill someone.
So, like,
he's so intense and serious about it.
It's his wife Mickey's birthday, and he makes her this beautiful cake, and so it's like, he walks in and he's all dressed up and he's made out the flat, so it's like full of like happy birthday streamers, and it's just adorable. And he walks in like hunched over, and he starts singing like, "Happy birthday," like really slow and menacing. It's like the menacing fucking signs there. And he's like, "I got you this," because she really likes an anime called Polycure. And he's like, "Here, I got you this." Like, and he kind of like he like bows and he holds it up, like proper like presenting to the Yakuza boss. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, Tatsu, thank you." Or she calls him Tatty, which is really cute. She's like, "Oh, Tatty, thank you, but I already pre-ordered this." And he's like, like, and it's like this big dramatic. He's like, "I'm sorry," and he falls into like the low kind of like, "Forgive
like,
me," and then he pulls out a knife and starts going to like, "I'll cut off my pinky finger. I'm sorry." And it's just the funniest.
Yeah, that's how seriously the character takes it. As he's willing to cut off his pinky to apologise in the most Yakuza way possible.
Yeah, he like hangs out with a bunch of the other kind of like middle-aged housewives. Like, he goes and does yoga with them, and like, they're all super like used to his shit by now, and like he refers to like his wife, and like there's like the leader of, I don't know, it's like a little like organization of like housewives who just kind of hang out and like share recipes and stuff. He refers to the leader of that is the boss.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I gotta get this done, the boss, you know.
I mean, I'm sure there's a really dark side to this where it's like, this is all this guy
really
clearly knows, but also just ignore it because it's nice and wholesome. It's fine.
Fucking is. Like, there's literally, like, it hints at, like, this really grim kind of backstory where, like, when Mickey, it's hinted at that when Mickey and Tatsu first meet, she basically encounters him covered in blood, shirtless, sitting outside of like now
we're in a Yakuza
like
game.
you know with the sliding doors. He's just sat outside there, and he's just covered in blood, and that's like when they first meet, and she's like fine with it, you know, and she's like, oh yeah, he looks like, you know, he's less scary now than when we first met, and it cuts back to him just sitting there looking exhausted, covered in blood, and then it just doesn't bring it up again, and then like there's like two policemen that keep chasing him, trying to like catch him out doing something like illegal, because they're like, oh, it's Immortal Tatsu, like he just disappeared like 2 years ago, what's going on? And then they follow him, and he's got like a briefcase on him, and he's like, he makes friends with a local thug and turns him round, and so he's like, he teaches him how to cook and stuff, and he's like, he goes up to this kid who obviously both of them look rough and dodgy as fuck, and he opens his briefcase, and the kid's like, yeah, and then he gives him like a little bag, and then they burst in. And it's just him and his thug friend celebrating his birthday. And they've all got, like, weird, like, silly masks, like the glasses with the mustaches on. And they're like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, you were trafficking drugs. And, like, the kid pulls out, like, it's, like, the little pouch. That obviously looks like it's in, like, a drug baggie. And he's like, what, you mean these? Yeah, it's basil. Big bro cooks, like grows it himself. It's great. You put it in, like... You put it in pizza, you do all this, and he's teaching me how to cook, and the cops are like, oh, this is fucking awkward. But yeah, I'm going to stop...
Just back out slowly.
Yeah, I'm going to stop gushing about that, because I could literally gush about it all day, because I love it so much.
It's so sweet.
It is amazing.
Yakuza is very much like that at times.
It's just really sweet moments.
There's very sweet moments, there's incredibly intense moments, there is laughter, and there is like the saddest moments you can think of.
Yeah.
And then there's like side things where you're let me think. Meeting a debt collector lady who teaches you a new style of fighting, and it's literally picking up everything around you and using it as a weapon. And the first time you meet her, like the guy she's collecting a debt from pulls a knife, and she just destroys him.
Just picks up a fridge and just belts him with it.
No, Kiryu can pick up a motorbike and just use it as a weapon.
Yeah, obviously. It's like the Dante Sparta school of fighting.
Oh yeah, definitely. But he's doing this against like humans.
Beautiful.
And Kazuma Kiryu has never killed anyone.
Oh, he's like a good boy Yakuza.
Yeah, he's total good boy Yakuza, even when he's doing a move where he smashes a bike so hard over someone's head it breaks.
But he's never killed anyone. That would be too far.
Never killed anyone. It's a trip.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to playing it, honestly.
I think you'd really enjoy it, especially the first time. In Zero, since it's a prequel, you're meeting Kiryu and Majima for the first time.
Yeah.
Majima's totally different.
Oh, dang, okay.
And his intro sequence is amazing. And also, there's the karaoke thing. You'll have seen videos of that. It's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Just, great game. Other than that, I tried, what's it called? Soul of Lemon, I believe it was, sent me a game gifted me a game after I finished Bloodstained called Valda's Story, Abyssal City.
Okay.
Which is a name.
Okay.
And it's a Metroidvania game, but it has a Devil May Cry combo system in it.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played too much of it yet, mainly because I was getting messed up with my controller, because it really wants you to play it old school style where you use the D-pad, and I'm so not used to using the D-pad anymore that it actually freaks me out a bit. I'm like, no, not the joystick, no, come on. And I have to actively think about it, and it was fucking it up for me. It's got an interesting, fun art style, lots of nice, just beautiful use of colours, and the combo system sounds like a fun idea. Because, I mean, you've played through Bloodstained recently, Web.
Yeah.
Like, stab, stab, stab.
I mean, it does.
Is what you usually do.
It does technically have special moves that I would always forget.
Oh
exist.
yeah, putting in friggin' Street Fighter inputs.
Yeah, do fucking
quarter circle,
quarter
forward
circle.
X and stuff.
Yeah, which because it doesn't like just tell you, you have to like go roaming around and find little bits.
Oh, you
of
can also
information.
just try it, and if it works, it puts it in the journal.
Oh, that's useful. That's useful. But
Which is handy because if you're just like swinging around the joystick and then just hit a button and something cool happens, it'll at least tell you.
but in general, you might as well just not bother because most of them aren't really worth it.
Mm-hmm. No, I never find them all up. They suck up way too much MP as well.
Yeah, they just weren't worth it.
But yeah, the Elder Story seems fun. I do want to just get back into it. I might just start a new game and go again from I think I played a couple of hours of it. Seems like good fun though.
Yeah, sometimes it's just better to just start from afresh if you sort of put it down for a bit and you weren't too far through it.
Yeah. Also, I played Ghost Recon Wildlands for the first time in months.
Oh yeah.
Oh dang!
Because
yeah.
Snipe casually reminded me that the new mission pack update thing happened.
Yeah, I forgot about
and there is 2 missions that feature John Bernthal.
I need to play that again because I think John Bernthal is very cool.
The missions aren't great. I'm just going to tell you now.
Yeah, but John Bernthal's in it, and I'm just going to pretend that I'm doing like a mission for Frank Castle. And it's going to make me happy. I could be like, hey, same name, best friends, and he'll just shoot me in the face.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, this is effectively them doing a little bit of setup for the new Ghost Recon game.
Okay.
Because he's the big bad guy in the new Ghost Recon game.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
But he's like just Army Special Forces or some goddamn Black Ops variety.
Yeah, then his family gets killed and he goes on a path of revenge, and then like people start thinking he's a good guy.
You're not entirely wrong.
Okay, so they just want...
Not that his family gets killed, but you're not entirely wrong.
Okay, someone kills his dog or fucking something.
Yeah, no, he's not John Wick.
He gives someone like his flat keys and will like feed my goldfish, and then they didn't, so he's just like, ah! That's my best John Bernthal.
He does his weird roar.
It's like if cows were carnivores.
Dio goes re, John Bernthal goes moo.
Yeah. Well, he goes roo. Roo.
It sounds like what would happen if you got a cow caught in like a combine harvester or something.
I still think that's what cows would sound like if they were carnivorous.
I mean,
if they were apex, because they'd be apex predators, and then you'd just be like, you'd be out in your garden having some lemonade because it was on sale at the Safeway, and then you just hear, and then he just jumps out and just fucking mauls you.
Who, John Bernthal or a cow?
Both.
Oh, okay.
John Bernthal is the alpha cow.
He will lead them to their...
It sounds like a cow centaur, but okay, we'll go with
that. His mum was a centaur. A cent cow? I don't know, that sounds weird.
A cowtor.
Cowtor. I was going to say that, and I'm like, does that sound weird? I'll wait till someone else says it so I don't feel as weird.
A centrine. That works. It's a good bovine. But yeah, one of his parents was like a were-cow.
This is exactly what it is.
So, and that's why he's a very beefy gentleman.
He's
very beefy.
He will lead the cows to their liberation.
Yeah, he's sick of it, of the whole industry just being gross. So he's just going to train cows to hunt and kill human beings.
Yeah.
And make them the apex predator of Coventry and Yorkshire.
Just Coventry and Yorkshire.
Yeah. I don't know what he's planning, but I'm sure it's going to make sense to him and all of
Today, Coventry, tomorrow, the world.
Today, Coventry, tomorrow, Leicestershire. Oh my god, what the fuck are we talking about? It's so hot in here.
It's fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Other than that, I looked a little bit more at Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Ghost Recon new one.
Yes. As someone that pays about as much attention to Tom Clancy branded games as I do to Slovakian politics.
So you pay a lot of attention.
Could you maybe give me a breakdown as to what this is?
Breakpoint seems to be them doing Wildlands, but better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the weird shit that me and Snipe found funny, and they're like, oh yeah, you just change your loadout anytime you fucking want, whatever. Like when you're in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing away with that, and you actually have to camp out to do anything to your loadout.
Okay, so like that sounds actually pretty cool. So that gives like a new tactical kind of element.
Yeah, it's a bit more Spec Ops-y. Yeah, where you're Spec Ops behind whatever friggin' enemy lines of whatever the hell. And
it's gonna like be some stupid thing. I mean, I don't care. Like the gameplay is literally why I play it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, you have like a bivy bag type or bivouac sack thing that you have to set up in order to change loadout or modify weapons or maintain weapons.
Oh, okay, that can fuck off.
If it just means you have to field strip and clean them, then fine. But
yeah, but is it going to be like, Legend of Zelda or like Dark Souls, where it's like, oh, you fired an entire magazine with this gun, oh, it's too dirty to fire? Because that seems to be how that shit works, and it drives me nuts.
I would like it to more be that if you've put like 20 or 30 magazines through a gun, it will start to jam sometimes.
Yeah.
And you have to just, your character will have to force the bolt open and get whatever the problem is dealt with. So it's not quite like, oh yeah, the weapon just explodes or whatever.
That would be pretty funny.
Far Cry 2 did that with weapon degradation.
Oh god.
You'd be firing a pistol and the entire front end would fly off because it's too buggered up.
Okay, that sounds really fucking funny, actually. I can imagine it would be so annoying.
It was that entire game was aggravating. We don't talk about Far Cry 2.
Far Cry 3 is like the best one.
Far Cry 3's the best one, but like 4 and 5 have better gameplay.
Yeah, they have like better mechanics.
But 3 has the best setup and like general stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Breakpoint seems interesting. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not going to buy it full price any of the stuff that Ubisoft is trying to push down everyone's throat. Like, buy the season pass now with the game for 80 quid.
No.
I'm good.
No, I'm not going to be fucking doing that. Thank you. How about you, like, just don't break up games piecemeal and charge me individually?
Yeah. I've got no problem with games... Well, some problems, I'll say. I've got no problem with games going, okay, down the line, we will do... Like, the roadmap idea, fine. You want to keep the game alive to an extent.
Yeah.
Fine. But it's become less about keeping a game alive and we're just putting out bits piecemeal and then being like, oh yeah, the full game will be out in the next 8 months.
Yeah.
So, no. Give us the full game and then give us a roadmap with keeping it alive. For every little chunk
of it, they're going to charge you like full retail price. But yeah, anyway, the problems with games aside, I'm probably going to pick it up.
Well, I was going to say that's what I'm enjoying about Destiny 2 right now. They put out a roadmap and it's like, here's all the free updates. If you have the season pass, you can get some more other little updates, but here's all the free updates that are coming out, and there's a lot more free stuff coming out than there is just for season pass holders.
Yeah.
And they're doing well. It's funny, as soon as they get out under Activision's thumb, they're doing nice things.
Yeah, it's almost as if Blizzard Activision are fucking awful.
I always forget that, Bungie are on their own now.
Yeah.
And they are not beholden to shareholders. Mm. And they don't do crunch. They refuse to do crunch ever since, I think it was Halo 2, someone told me.
Yeah, good. Because fuck crunch.
I'm not saying that it's a company in the end. They're there to make money and insert Marxist theory here, but they're one of the better ones by the sounds of it. So yeah, fine. I'm more excited to see what's happening with Destiny 2 than Breakpoint, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to
that new
kind of like...
coming out in September.
I'm not paying too much attention, but when it comes out, I'll have an eye on kind of like reviews, see how it is, and then probably when it's on sale.
Is there any deal and like...
Yeah, and just basically wait for it to be 20
dick
quid
and impulse buy it for both of us, so I'll have a co-op buddy for it.
Yeah, probably.
I'm the worst. Breakpoint's still going to have character creation, by the way.
Awesome. Good. I like that.
Which I did like, yes.
It was nice. Yeah.
But that is me, and I'm sorry for taking up so much time, everyone.
You did listen to, like, Wib. Just couldn't shut him up.
Yeah.
Fucking awful. Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
He's a good boy.
Anyway, I'm going to put get some fucking direction on this sinking ship.
Okay, so...
I forgot to talk about Jojo Part 2. No, I'm not.
Okay, so we've put out a call for questions on Twitter. Drawamat has the password for the email, so...
And he is, unfortunately...
dead. Or
indisposed.
in jail.
So we've had to do it our own way by doing it on Twitter.
So I'm going to read some out now. And he's going to be away for the next podcast as well. So we will just be doing another Twitter thing.
Yeah, for then as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through the questions that we got. I don't know if we'll get to all of them.
But thank you for sending your questions in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool to get the interaction and all that. As cynical a word as that is, it's nice to see folk just fuck off. It's nice to see folk just asking fun questions.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go through these. So, the first question here is actually from Snipe.
It's from some strapping young person called Frank Star Wars.
I'm not sure.
Yes, who has a really, really cool profile image. I wonder who made that.
Oh, I bet they stole it from somewhere because they're probably a dick.
They asked... Snipe has asked, can I get an ice cream after the podcast? It's hot and I would like an ice cream. Yes, you can go get an ice cream.
Okay, bye.
Put your headphones back on. God damn it.
Physical comedy.
Yes.
Next one is from Patrick Chambers, asking, what is the difference between fluff and lore?
Well, first off, they're spelled differently. They don't contain any of the same letters. Fluff has like 5 letters.
Okay, I'm going to give an actual answer, okay?
Okay. I don't care. I'm answering their question, but fine.
To me, I don't make any distinction between the two.
I don't either.
I use them interchangeably. I kind of prefer to use the term fluff because I feel that it
doesn't sound as serious.
It's not as aggrandizing as lore.
Like before, like when I played 40k, when I started off way back in 4th edition, we didn't call it lore, it was just called fluff.
Yeah.
It was the background fluff.
Because there was a distinction.
It was called fluff because it's like extraneous stuff that just helps with the narrative of the gameplay.
And it's the opposite of crunch, which is the actual rules.
Yes.
Yeah. So fluff and crunch is like that's always been such a fun thing to say.
Yeah, I guess if you want to make a distinction, I guess you could kind of make the distinction of that fluff would be sort of the stuff that's like, you know, when you buy a rule book and it has all the story in there, that's the fluff. Whereas like if you buy novels and things,
that's lore.
You could say that was lore because that's deeper in,
and because that's separate from the game itself. I
guess
you could.
So you would say that fluff is something that you add to crunch, whereas lore is its own thing.
You could do.
I mean, I've put that terribly, but just pretend I said something really profound and smart.
You're on the right track there. I would just say that fluff and lore are the same.
I personally count them as the same.
Yeah, I use them interchangeably. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Shanus, asking Snipe, what is the email address that questions should be sent to?
For fuck's sake, Shanus!
Although I wouldn't bother sending any questions to the email this week because we won't have the email for next week either, so...
Sorry if we take a while to get back to you.
If you sent something last time, it'll be a while before we get back to those, so sorry.
Can't believe... Shane heck off.
But what is the email address for future reference?
onlydrummermat@snipeandweb@gmail.com. Longfang, what's that email address again?
onlydrummermat@snipeandweb@gmail.com.
Nice. That was incredibly smooth.
My thank you.
Okay.
It's not like I'm like your mod and it's sort of my job to know shit or anything.
Okay, next question. It's from Dragon Tamer. Would you please tell us more true stories about Drummer Matt? I'd like to hear about the time he was thrown from the top of one of those double-decker tour buses.
Oh, do we have to talk about that fight me and him had?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, Longfang.
All I'll say is, from now on, we're not going to do the true stories because they take up a lot of time, and it's good to keep them being a little special. However, if the pair of you wish to tell a short one about the time that the pair of you went down to London with Matt...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you want me to start, Longfang?
I mean, I could sum up... If you want to do the run-up, I could certainly sum up what started the actual fight.
The inciting incident.
Sure.
Really simple. It was an argument over what the best topping for an ice cream cone is.
It was. I didn't realise...
And I was saying pistachio nuts, and he was like, oh no, honeycomb, and I called him a blasphemer a few times, and then...
Honestly, like, Drummer Matt wasn't in the wrong here. It was actually, no shade, Longfang, it was you. It was terrible. So, we went, because we met Longfang at the station. He caught a train down from Glasgow, and we caught the train down from Derby. Or Durbo.
Good.
No one has ever called Derby Durbo.
Durbo!
And if they have, it was only as the result of I don't know, like getting hit in the head whilst they were saying something.
Yes, Durbo. Okay, so we met up, and so Longfang and Drummer Matt have met before, so just kind of hanging out, having fun. And for some reason, Drummer Matt was like, let's take Longfang on a bus tour. And
because he doesn't think they have buses in Scotland.
I don't know why. He just doesn't.
He also thinks I actually like the English.
Yeah, it's really
I've
weird.
told him before, but it never seems to get quite the way through.
Honestly, yeah, it's like he's pretty good natured about it, but it's still a bit.
He's a good lad.
Yeah. So Longfang being very kind was like, okay, yeah, no, sure, let's go on a bus tour of London. So, we're on our way there, and because it was quite a hot day, I think it was didn't they say it was the hottest day of on record for London or something?
Something like that.
It was something like that. So it was really warm. It was I don't know, 23 degrees. It was so warm for an English town. So, on the way there, there's so many people with ice creams. So many people. I mean, Drummer Matt did slap ice creams out the hands of a few children, but I mean, literally you go...
Yeah, I just started holding his hand after that.
I think maybe that's why he does it, because he just likes holding hands with a giant Scotsman. Maybe. But I think he's just shy. So yeah, we're going along, and on the way to the bus tour. And, we start talking about ice cream, oh god, yeah, the ice cream's everywhere. We'll get somewhere after the bus tour.
Yeah.
So we go there, and we get on. We pay. I think it was £7.50 per person.
Yeah, I think it was about that. The problem was when I asked, "All right, pal, how much is it?" They didn't understand a word I said.
No, they were like, "I'm sorry, I think he's speaking some kind of Gaelic," and we were like, "No, he's not. He's just got a Scottish accent." And they were like, "Scottish." I'm not familiar, typical...
That's the land beyond the wall.
Yeah, just typical, Londoner kind of talk, just not understanding that anything outside of London exists.
Yeah.
So, I had to translate. So, Longfang would look at me and say, "Aye, pal."
Alright, pal, how much does it cost?
£7.50, because the guy did say, £7.50. You're going wide, pal. And then he headbutted me, which is pal. So I translated that to the guy, and he was like, okay, yeah, so it's £7.50 each. And he for some reason charged Longfang £7.49 because Drummer Matt was so intense that Longfang didn't pay the full fare.
By 1 penny.
By 1 penny. And then he paid for Longfang anyway. It's the best he could do.
He haggled really well, but that's the best he could do.
He haggled really well, but bottled it at the last moment.
Yeah, and then just, yeah. So we get on, and, we're having a tour of London. And, it's you look to your left, you'll see the Victoria and Albert Museum. It's just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, there's ice creams everywhere. So we start talking about ice creams again. And, of course, pistachio versus honeycomb. And I'm sitting there going, I like both. Drummer Matt literally he threw his keys at me. Just hit me in the face. And I was like, right.
What he was doing, he was trying to get rid of any extra weight on his body before he began the attack on me.
Yeah, no. This hindsight is 2020. So he starts throwing his stuff at me and anyone else. And, he starts taking his clothes off. Because, how he has that morph suit underneath his clothes?
Yeah. He is always wearing it.
He thinks he's being sneaky, but, he'll wear just,
but it's
yeah,
not.
he thinks it's a sneaking suit. But, he literally, because it's a long-armed one with gloves, so he'll, put a shirt over it and he'll be convinced that you don't know that he's wearing one.
I think he thinks he's going to get green screened out.
Yeah. Just from the head down. So that's his crime costume. So he just takes his clothes off and he's got a morph suit, thinking that cameras can't pick up morph suits.
What colour is the one he's using right now?
Can you remember if it was the lime green one that was sort of stained in weird places?
No, that was his Bob the Builder one. The one that he got from from Camden Market.
Yep.
And because so he had at this point 2 morph suits on. So he took off the Bob the Builder one to reveal the green stained one. That's where Longfang was getting confused.
Yes.
I'm used to drama mats, like, dressing habits, so then he starts, like, literally he stands up and starts moving his hands around quickly, screaming, Scottish vision is based on movement.
Yeah.
And the colour green.
He has some interesting ideas.
Because I think he thought if he moved super fast, then you couldn't see him.
Yeah. Which there was like two other Scottish people on the bus that just got really confused and couldn't see him.
Yeah.
I think they were just really old women.
They looked fairly old, and
there
was some cataracts maybe going on there.
I think that, and they were humouring him as well.
Yeah, they were just playing along for him.
And then Longfang, like, literally, like, just picks up drummer mat by his feet and just flips him like a table.
It was a giant swing kind of style thing where I grabbed him by his ankle, started spinning, and then just launched him off of the bus.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best way to just deal with him, because he realises he does something wrong at the point where he's flying through the air and gravity is going to send him flying.
Like, it was quite a long kind of, like, it was quite a way, because you kind of threw him down a hill into that fountain.
Oh yeah.
And just as he was, like, flying through the air, I think he had like a couple of seconds to just shout something. I think it sounded like I'm sorry.
I think it was.
Oh, it was I'm sorry. I yield to the one true. And then he fell into the fountain.
Yeah. And he was sort of quiet for the rest of the day after that.
Yeah, no, he was fine for the rest of the day. I think maybe the heat had gotten to him, and he was wearing like 2 morph suits.
It must have been pretty hot.
Yeah. So, and also he was convinced afterwards on the way home that, because I was like, you might get a fine or something for, like, causing a disturbance, and he was like, no, because cameras can't pick up the color green. Because he is so convinced that green screen is just a thing that cameras do.
Yeah, he's convinced that green cannot be captured on camera.
Yeah.
And you show him, like...
the thing is, his head isn't covered.
You can show him the introduction of Emmerdale all you want. And, that's just all green. And he's like, no.
He's like, no, that's not the right shade. That's got a little bit of blue in it. And you're like, okay, fine. Yeah. But yeah, that's the memory of when we went to London.
I'm going to move on with some more questions then.
That's a good idea.
That's why we're not going to do any more of those.
Yeah, not for a while, because they take up time.
Okay, Hans the Dragon has asked, which Primarch would be the best cook, and what would they make most often?
Vulcan cookies.
For some reason, I don't know what I'm basing this off, but I want to say the Khan.
I was going to say the Khan as well.
And I don't know why, and I feel some kind of stew.
Because he can.
Why are we linked by the friggin' brain right now?
I have no idea what I'm basing that on.
I just went the can and stew as the first thing that came into my head.
Well, I think Vulcan would bake cookies because he'd wear like a little apron, like Tatsu does in Way of the House Husband, because he wouldn't be able to find one big enough.
Yeah, it's like I'd say that the can stew that works for whatever thought process went through me and Webb's head.
Well, that's what you guys say.
Yeah. Like, Russ would just throw meat onto a fire, and once it's black enough, you'll eat it. It's not the best.
I'd say so. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so let's get through the rest of these questions.
Okay.
It's quite a few of them are quite short. So, here's a nice simple one. Who has the better mutton chops, Dawn or Russ?
I want to say Dawn.
If we're going for TTS Dawn, then it's definitely Dawn.
I'm going for TTS.
If we're going for canon, well, Dawn doesn't have them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and neither does Russ. He just has sideburns.
So
yeah, I'll go for Dawn, because Daddy Dawn has some good mutton chops.
Yep.
Okay, Insane Pagan Witch asks, what is our favourite breed of dog and or cat?
No, that's car.
Oh, car. It says car.
My favourite breed of car is basically, I love American muscle cars. I love Mustangs. Oh, they're nice. I want a matte black Mustang.
You have to learn to drive first.
I know how to drive.
Legally.
Okay, I need it. Yeah, technicalities. My favourite breed of dog is wolf dog.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say wolf dog?
Half wolf, half dog.
Half wolf, half dog. Yeah.
It's a hybrid wolf and dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you can't just get one and think that it's like taking care of a dog, because it's fucking not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What about you, Wib and Longfang?
My favourite breed of dog is still probably a corgi, even though I wouldn't have one, because
they're so cute.
Purebred breeds of dogs are their own thing.
Yeah.
Although I do really like, what are they called? Borzoi?
Borzois.
Oh yeah, I can never remember what they look like, but I know the name.
They're
same.
They're like a greyhound, but really fluffy.
Oh yeah, you quite like greyhounds as well.
They look like a Bloodborne enemy, but cute.
Yes, they totally do. I have seen a picture of one of those edited with a boss bar at the bottom.
Yeah, there's something about I don't know. I just think they're really adorable in like a weird gangly way.
What about your favourite breed of car?
My favourite breed of car, I don't know. I'm not into cars anymore.
Well, just pick a car you like. Just say like one of those cube things that look like someone's tied a rubber band around it.
What?
Or a smart car.
Do you mean a Fiat Multipla?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's not talk about those things.
Okay, that's Wib's favourite
They make me sad.
Longfang, what about you?
Well, I was always brought up around Labradors and Retrievers, so they kind of get a very quick... Like, they're an easy pick.
Yeah.
Since I am a dog person that knows a lot, I also like Alaskan Malamutes.
They are big
because they are the bigger, chunkier, heavy-lifting version of a husky. Mm-hmm. And I do have a soft spot for Irish Wolfhounds as well.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
Because they're like a deerhound sort of thing, but they're friggin' huge. Like, look up a picture sometime, they're huge.
Mm. But what's your favourite breed of car? And I'm very sorry, Insane Pagan Witch.
I think Insane Pagan Witch, I think they did, because R and T are right next to each other. I think they might have typoed, but I don't give a fuck. It's funnier saying
I used to have a tabby cat, so I can pick that anyway, but I would say probably, let's see, Ford Escort Mark II 1600 Rally Edition.
Yeah.
Oh, it upsets me that I know what you're talking about.
I don't. Also, if I want to say my favourite breed of cat, I'd say Munchkin cats.
I know what my least favourite breed of cat is.
Your mum's cat.
My mum's cat, which is a Bengal.
A Bengal, and it's wound up, and it's such a little brat, and it's all poorly socialised, and it's just a piece of shit.
Apparently, they're all just fucking lunatics anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, your mum's cat is actively malicious.
And hates me.
Yeah.
So some cats just hate people. That's their thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the next question.
Yes.
Any thoughts on the Blackstone Fortress game?
Seems cool.
I've never played it, but the models are cool.
The models are
great.
Are
cool.
Yeah.
Never played it though.
That Ambo redesign is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Did you read out their name?
Oh yeah. Sorry. That that question was from Conrad Kinch.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Although their Twitter handle is a questioning vole, which leaves me with many questions.
Yeah, that's a good name though.
I like it.
Okay, next question is from for fuck's sake,
Polonius J. Willinius.
Polonius J. Willinius. Okay.
Who I feel has probably changed their name on Twitter to something really hard to pronounce just to fuck with us this one time.
Yep.
Because NIDS can absorb biomass and copy it in one way, shape, or form, do you think that they could create a Tyranid Emperor?
I mean, I would say no.
They already have Norn Queens.
Yeah, but I would say that they would probably get a bunch of strength and it would create an insanely powerful Tyranid, but not as powerful. Not as powerful because, well, the Emperor is basically space magic.
Yeah, the Emperor is just made of psychic bullshit.
Yeah, so I would say that probably wouldn't transfer as fully, so...
And I do feel that there are distinct limits to... Because obviously it creates things to solve a problem, but I feel that it's... Because everything shares a rough kind of template of shape, I feel like it's less that they can just create anything in whatever they want. It's more that they can basically nudge the scales on evolution, like by several thousand years in whatever direction to create,
force the evolution of certain desirable traits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how, but that I don't know because I'm not super well versed on the intricacies of how they do things. But that's how I have always understood it in my head, anyway.
Yeah.
Also, well, that basically, you're not going to get a sexy Emperor-style Tyranid like you did with Kerrigan in StarCraft, basically.
Because that was fucking awful. Sexy fine. Fucking... piss off.
That's fine.
Okay, 2 more questions left.
Yes.
Okay. One from Lone Spartan 320. So I am curious, which faction do you want to see get some love in 40k the most?
My default answer for that is Sisters, always.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've got like a bunch of new models and stuff coming out. I would say Eldar.
Eldar's a very good shout.
Because,
Actually,
Eldar, I mean, they've kind of been left in the dust behind, Dark Eldar and stuff like that. And, out of all of them, they're kind of the ones that, this is excluding Sisters the whole time, tends to be just kind of, ignored.
They're a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah, and
which is really weird,
sucks.
considering, Gathering Storm has a big thing about the Eldar in it with the Inari and all that stuff.
So maybe a new kind of bunch of units, a really interesting thing that would be unique strictly to Eldar, or just I do think, I don't know how to fix it, but I know that they do need quite a lot of love.
A nice facelift for some of the models.
I've got to be honest, I am actually kind of tempted because I've got most of my Blood Angels kind of together now.
Yeah, they're pretty wrapped up.
I've got a few other bits and pieces I want to get to mean that I can run them in different ways. And much like my Orcs, I'll probably add to them periodically over time anyway, as you do. But so I'm kind of currently in the sort of thing of I kind of want to collect something new after that.
Yeah.
And honestly, because I've never played them, I am sort of tempted to try and play just regular Eldar.
Hey, Web. I would really like to see your take on Eldar.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
I don't know what I'd do.
Too bad you're doing it now. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Part of me is tempted to actually basically do a kind of what Snipe's done with a Walker army, but do that with the Eldar big, the Wraith Lords and Wraith Knights and things.
Wraith Knights, that would be really cool, and I'd love to see how you would paint one.
Yeah, I'm nothing on the table because I've also got the idea of doing a sort of worshippers of the Raven Queen using those Warcry Raven cultists.
Also, thinking of armies we'd like to do, I've been kind of playing with the idea of, Tyranids.
Oh.
I can see that.
Because I like Gribblies.
You like the Gribblies?
I like how they're just basically,
I feel
Giga.
betrayed right now.
It's HR Giga and Scyther from Pokemon. That's their fusion.
Yeah.
And, they are cool. I would kind of also really like to get some Dark Eldar. Because I'm a goth,
some of the newer models for the Dark Eldar and some of the stuff that... I say newer models, when I think of them in 4th edition, they've probably still got a lot of the same models that they do now, but some of the ones that are more recent are really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd probably lean more towards Dark Eldar because it's way easier to make lore or fluff for your personal units. Whereas it's just this I mean, I like the indirect storytelling of Tyranids. They call this one Dr. Pepper or what because it's makes you sneeze. I don't know, but you could that you could have some fun with that. But I'm a bit more hands on with it, so it's a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I think painting thousands of carapaces would get boring.
Oh, yeah. You could always do a big a kaiju battle and just have all Carnifexes and Hive Tyrants.
Okay, why would you say that? Because I like low model, high points.
Mm-hmm. Which is not good for 8th edition in general.
It's not, no. But
then
that's how I like to play, and it's probably about the same money-wise. But yeah.
There's a lot of really fun Tyranid models as well. Just think the Trigon and the Moloch and shit like that.
That's kind of an interesting point because my current army that I'm putting together is Blood Angels and the pair of you both play Space Wolves.
Yes.
So I've said I'm tempted with Eldar, you're tempted with Nids. If you were tempted to play a Xeno race there, Longfang, what would be the one that you would play?
I would probably play Eldar. I like the style of the Eldar.
Yeah, the moment Wib said he wanted it, I was like, well, I can't say that I want to play Eldar.
I've actually just had a thought. I'd be kind of tempted to do Exodite style.
Oh yeah. See, there's stuff in the Eldar sub faction list that could be very interesting, like the Exodites, or the Corsair Pirates, or Inari, or just different craft worlds.
This is something I should think about. But
anyway, yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
Last question, and then we'll wrap up. Which is from Billy, the gentleman in black, who is saying, would you ever play Heresy? If so, and this would presumably be the Horus Heresy version of the game. If so, which legions? No dirty Space Wolves. Normally, I'd say,
fuck off.
I'm not. I will
Billy,
discount.
fuck off.
Yeah. I will discount that last thing. However, since both of you would by default play Space Wolves, I think actually it would be a more interesting question in this instance.
No, yeah.
I really like the Horus Heresy Space Wolves stuff that Forge World does.
But aside from them...
Okay, if we're doing Heresy era, loyal... I might actually, honestly, this is going to get some bollocks in the comments probably, but I would honestly play Ultramarines.
Yeah, no, they're really cool.
I really like the royal blue colour scheme.
Honestly, once you've... the Ultramarines get a better showing in Heresy than they do in mainline 40k.
Yes.
So,
I'd obviously play World Eaters.
That's
the World Eaters. Pre-Heresy World Eaters are great.
Yeah.
Okay, Lunar Wolves?
That's fine.
No, to be fair, I just think,
You've been a fan of, Loken for ages,
Yeah, I think Loken's really fucking cool, and I like the style.
It's all white, though, and white's a pain
That's the thing, it's that's the thing, it's I can't...
What about Sons of Horus? Because they've got actually a really neat colour scheme.
The sort of seafoam green colour.
Yeah, and with, the bright red eye symbol on them.
Okay, you know what? That's, aesthetically way more pleasing. So,
Actually,
and it would be more fun to paint.
Yeah, actually, if I was looking at it from the perspective of painting it, I'd actually be very tempted by Sons of Horus, because I think they're one of the better
I'll take
looking.
Sons of Horus, then, y'all. Obviously, my main choice is Space Wolves, of course.
But are any of us ever likely to play it?
No. Do I look like a fucking millionaire?
We don't know anyone that plays it.
I would never have the money to put a proper Heresy era army together, and also I prefer 8th edition rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember which edition that Horus Heresy runs on, but it's one of the older ones. And
it's effectively running off 7th as far as I'm aware.
I thought it was 7th.
Feel free to
say.
Yeah, feel free to correct us in the comments if you're not accurate on that. But it is based on an older one, because it's not the modern kind of thing. However, I will say it is really nice, because we go to Warhammer World relatively frequently because it's not too far from us.
Yeah.
And it is always nice because there's always someone there playing a Heresy game.
Yeah, it's always an older person because they have the disposable income and stuff. So
and bless them. They're doing the thing.
I will specify that is no shade. It's
no, not at all.
You never see a 15-year-old kid doing it. For
a 15-year-old kid can't
reason.
afford to buy a fucking Spartan.
Yeah, exactly. Which is whatever. It's fine. But yeah, it is fun to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I will pick up stuff from Forge Worlds for their Heresy stuff for my 40k army, because I tend to think the aesthetic's slightly better or more well done for the wolves. Leaning more in the Norse and Viking-y stuff than the wolfy stuff, but
than the werewolf thing.
It's the same with the Blood Angels. A lot of the stuff that Forge World does is really nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've bought the heads for use on my Sanguinary Guard. The head upgrade sprue for Blood Angels, cool. And I've just mentioned it when I got the Leviathan. It was the Blood Angels Leviathan.
Yeah. It's funny that they're more understated, and yet at the same time also more nicely fancy. Decorated.
That's the thing. It's more I think a lot of 40k stuff can be over decorated.
Yes, over designing is a major issue.
It's kind of there's it's like Final Fantasy does it modern day designers at Squeenix just keep designing it, just keep going, adding pouches, things. Keep adding pouches, panels, keep adding belts. It's there is such a thing as too much, whereas Forge World tends to be a lot more restrained.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to Forge World, they do have quite a few accessories and stuff, nowhere near as many, but they seem to be placed and designed for maximum kind of looks good.
Maximum look aesthetics.
Maximum aesthetic.
Yeah, they tend to go for, okay, here's the theme of this army. We're going to pick one thing to stand out on this model.
Yeah.
That makes it look the part, rather than slap the logos everywhere.
Yeah, I will say the model for Alfarius drives me fucking nuts.
I have one that might be worse.
I mean, I love the Alfarius model, but that's
it's
not
lovely.
Alfarius.
Oh no, it's beautiful.
But yeah, it's just kind of but this is the thing, you look at it from a business point, and it's if you just put a standard Marine there, people would be so mad you're charging 90 quid for it.
Yeah, that's the
so
point.
I get it. I get it.
There is a couple models that, Forge Worlds. Every company has good and bad qualities, so Games Workshop. They're both great. Absolutely. I love them, but the mistakes happen. Constantine Valdor is one busy model.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate example of over-designing something. That's just everything.
Let's throw everything at this.
But anyway, we should probably wrap up because it's
you guys are going to die.
Yeah, we're going to die. I need to go get some fruit.
You got to go buy fruit.
I've got to go buy fruit, yo.
Fruit. It's good.
So we'll wrap that up now because we've been going on for a while.
Thank you very, very much, Longfang, for joining us for this podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is a strange and surreal honour, seeing as I'm pals with you and talk to you all the time, but at the same time, this is like the YouTube business now. Like, it's weird.
If people have listened to this and want to get more hot Scottish action and maybe get in on that Bathwater,
they should maybe speak to a therapist first. I really
where can they find you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter at Longfang91.
At Longfang91?
Yes, and it's the exact same on Twitch.
Yeah, so Longfang91 on Twitch.
Yes. And I stream Tuesdays and Fridays.
And he's currently going through The Witcher 3.
Witcher 3, yeah.
Which I unfortunately can't watch because spoilers, but like, if you want anyone to play through The Witcher on stream, it's Longfang, because he knows goddamn fucking everything about The Witcher.
I may know too much about that universe.
But yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Longfang.
No, thanks for having me, seriously.
Yeah, so I've been Snip, that's been Wabe, and that's been The Longest Fang. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye.